Hey guys, we're going to talk a moment about bankruptcy when buying a property sub 2 and selling one with a wraparound mortgage. If you find this video helpful, take a minute and like us. If you have any questions, make comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. So guys, in this video, we're going to talk about the front end side of bankruptcy when we're buying a home subject to, because I get a lot of questions about what if a seller, after we bought the home, files bankruptcy down the road. What happens then? On the flip side, we're going to take a minute and talk about what happens if we sell a home to a home buyer, say with a wraparound mortgage, for instance, or even do a rental or a contract for deed or a land contract, and that occupant files bankruptcy, and how we navigate those scenarios. You know, when we play the investment game, buying houses sub 2, a lot of things can happen out there along the way, whether you're buying, selling, whatever it might be. But I get a lot of questions about what happens after the investor buys a seller's home subject to the existing debt, and 6 months later, a year later, 3 years later, that seller files bankruptcy. What happens? Well, the simple answer is I don't know. But what could happen? That's probably the better question to ask, because anything can happen. Number one is, remember, the seller no longer owns the property, and provided the investor is doing the right thing by having brought that loan current, making all the payments timely, the great odds are the mortgage company is going to do nothing, who may or may not even get notice of that, because the seller's bankruptcy attorney may not even include that debt in the bankruptcy. Next, if the debt is current with that mortgage company, will they even have a reason to respond to the bankruptcy court through a proof of claim or something down those lines? Again, who knows? Now, the worst thing that can happen is if the seller sold a property that was not necessarily in financial straits, such as a pre-foreclosure, but maybe had a lot of equity and maybe was trying to hide that equity in some format by selling the house to a friendly third party. Now, in those scenarios, the bankruptcy court could unwind that transaction up to so many years, I believe, along the way. Now, I have really never seen that happen, but could it? It could. So my first response to these questions is, don't worry about it until it becomes an issue or a problem. Continue doing the right thing, make your payments, and I believe the great odds are you're not going to have any issues with that particular bankruptcy. In the investment business, if you rent a property or if you do a seller finance wraparound mortgage to a back-end buyer, or even if you don't even have debt on the property, you do a loan to a back-end buyer, people can at all times file bankruptcy when they get behind in payments. Now, the key to this business is be in communication with your borrower. Don't be estranged from them. Make sure they know who you are, they have your contact info, and you have theirs. So when there is an issue, get on top of it immediately. Don't let it fester to the point where now they're so far behind they can't get caught up and they have limited options. So long as you've done the right thing along the way, buyers can still file for bankruptcy at any time. They may have other issues that you don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just because they don't want to lose their home. But things happen, and you can't get frustrated. What you simply need to do is know how to navigate these things appropriately. And I always tell investors to find a good bankruptcy attorney in the state where you're located. Ask them what the procedures would be when these things do happen, so you're prepared to handle them. When someone does file bankruptcy, make sure you get that proof of claim filed timely. The court will normally send that to you or to your servicer, so that you're able to fill that out. If you get notice of bankruptcy and you don't get a proof of claim, contact the court or contact a bankruptcy attorney and get that filed with the court to protect and secure your lien on that property. It will also ask you for things like, how far behind is your buyer? 1 month, 5 months, whatever it might be. Now, sometimes you run across certain buyers who just want to work the system. They file a bankruptcy to stop a foreclosure, and they get dismissed a week, a month or so later. You start the foreclosure process again, they file again. Sometimes you'll find where a husband files only, then a wife files only, then a husband and wife files. And it's all a delay tactic. And oftentimes investors are cheap and they don't want to get their bankruptcy attorney involved because it costs money. It's smart to get them on the same page as you are, usually as quick as possible, so that when these games get played, you're able to go to them, they can file a motion to lift stay to stop those things from occurring. So again, there's not a lot of good answers for bankruptcy. You can just sit back, fill out your proof of claim, wait to see what the court does, because there is going to be a 60-day lag time between their filing, they're getting their financial statements filed with the court, and then about 90 days before you receive that first payment. Now, if you're not receiving a payment and can't verify that they've paid the court your monthly payment, you have the right to file that motion to lift stay. Again, it's why you need a good bankruptcy attorney in the state where you're located to understand how to do these things and make it happen quickly. Bottom line is, don't sit on this because it can fester more and more. I've seen this happen where individuals will file the same bankruptcy 3, 4, 5 times, and even though they get dismissed, it delays that eviction. It delays that foreclosure. And time is money in our business. So take the time out, speak to that qualified bankruptcy attorney in your area. Hope it helps you guys out. So guys, I hope you liked this short little video, that it helped you out. If you like it, take a minute to like us. You got more questions, please comment below. We'll try to get them answered for you. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And we'll see you all next time.